if you have a product that you disagree with Pillgrade's grade and you want your own style, your own grading to be reflected in Pillgrade, you can save a custom product for that particular product. In this case, I'm going to call a sample. I'm going to say I run this through and I get, let's see what I get. I get a 1.0, again, of course. Say, for whatever reasons, that is a 2.0 according to all of your files and all of your customers, and you want this fabric, this degree of filling, to always read a 2.0. Well, what you want to do is you don't want to change the default settings for Pillgrade. The reason for that is because you want your machine to have the same settings as other machines and also the same setting over time. But in this case, if this particular product of yours, you want to have a custom setting because you want this to be, this particular fabric, you want it to be a 2.0, then simply come into what you need to do is password protected, enter in a password in this box up here. The password for this is PROD, for product. And then once you type in that, the edit window will pop up. And then first thing to do is to enter in your new product name. I will just call it Red. Click on the Add button. Again, quick note, this is all detailed extensively, with a lot of detail, on page number 21 and further. Here, once you add in your new product will be selected on the top, and then you could change any of these 5 numbers here in order to get your sample to read at 2.0. It says a 1.0 now. So I'm just going to play around with these numbers briefly, and I'm going to change the grade multiplier from a 0.75 to a 0.4. And that will change my grade for that product from a 1 to a 2. Now, of course, you may be saying to yourself, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't want to be able to change the settings for any particular piece of fabric. I want it to be whatever it is. Well, that is, of course, a valid argument. In that case, you wouldn't want to do this. However, if you do, again, want your particular type to be a particular grade that you've already predetermined, and you disagree with Pillgrade, then simply do this procedure. Now, anytime that you do this fabric in the future, you're going to select from your product list your red product, so that when you run it, I'm going to run it here again, so that when you run it, you're going to get your 2.0 or 1.8, 2.2 type of grade. Now, a safety net on this is, of course, on your product settings, it would be no help by getting a 2.0 if you did not know that that grade was running off of the non-standard Pillgrade setting. You'll see on this report that I printed out earlier, on the bottom left, it says grade curve, and it says Pillgrade standard. Well, that's all well and good, but if I run on this product here, and I'm going to clear all and add this to my printout and print a report just on this fabric that we did here, you'll see what happens on that report. Rather than reading a Pillgrade standard, it will have them encoded for the customized product settings that you had for that test. This way, if you ever submit this report with some fabric, or you send the information to another one of your testing labs, then you can see on the report, right off the bat, right at the bottom there, what is the standard settings used. And if you see the grade curve that a standard setting was not used, then you can replicate that same test on any other machine by simply looking at this new report, and down at the bottom, rather than saying Pillgrade standard, it says they have a series of numbers, series of five numbers, and those are the 5 numbers corresponding to the product settings window that we accessed before, where it has your product type is red, not default anymore, and your new settings are rather than 0.75, it's 0.4. And then, of course, all the other numbers are the same as your standard. But in any case, so if you had this report at another location, then you know whether or not it used standard settings or it used different settings. And if it did use different settings, you can simply match those settings for that particular type on any machine in the future or at another location. Again, the product type settings window is very advanced, and the 5 variables that you are able to alter are described in great detail in the manual, and they offer you all the tools you need to do what you want to do. Again, on a note, a lot of users of Pillgrade never, ever use the custom product settings. They simply just run Pillgrade standard, and if Pillgrade says it's a 2.0, but they've always thought it was a 3.0, well, then they're changing their settings for that, for their mill, and some places are simply some places are using the custom settings. It's a tool for you to use. Whether or not you want to use it or not is, of course, entirely up to you.